Speak loud so you can kind of hear as you come over. All right, so I'm going to kind of give a little intro on these plots, and then Rayanne's going to talk about her plant counts that she found. So we're touring on this side because it was not PGR. That got a little stunted from the PGR. The timing was a little off, I think. We tank mixed it with a herbicide. I think it stunted it a little bit too much, so you can definitely see that it is short. So we'll look at it on this side that had no PGR. These were planted April 28th. So kind of, I would say, mid-season for an irrigation farmer planting cereals on an average year. We had to water them up though, so there's a little bit of variability in the plots because some was growing, some wasn't quite, so a little bit of variability. So when Rayanne did her plant counts, she tried to pick a spot that was not variable to get an accurate view of the plant stand versus everything else. And then these plots that are here, so basically we got Frontier, Durum, and the middle one is West King. So Frontier, West King, and then Oakman. And then Frontier, West King, Oakman. So the varieties are the same all the way across. And this one was planted in March 19th in these plots here. And the March 19th ones, I think you can start to see them flowering a little bit, pretty similar stage to everything else. You want to talk about your plant counts?
Yeah, for April, obviously you can expect, I guess I should tell you what we seeded them at. We seeded them at 40 plants per square foot with a 10% mortality rate built into that. And so April, as you can expect, they were all pretty good. We had a 96% average survivability across the three of them. The Durum was at 37 and the other two 39. So they had really good survivability. Going into March and February, they were actually very, very similar, and the Durum was still consistent at 37, and the two spring wheats were 38, 39. So still really good. And then when you get into January, you can expect a little bit more mortality on them. They were about 81% on an average survivability between them, and the worst being the Durum. But honestly, if you look at them, they still are quite impressive for being planted in January, because I, for one, thought Greg was crazy.
Many do. You're not alone. The far Durum plot, it's a little variable. Like, we tried to pick a spot where the plant stand could be counted that was kind of fair to it, but there was spots that were a little patchy, especially early on. It's kind of filled in, but obviously that kind of covers up some of the problems, doesn't eliminate the plant stand. So, but the Durum from January, if I were to do it again, I don't know if I would recommend January, but this year the soil was warm enough to do it. From doing this, I would say February and March would be good to go. But
what date was that again in January?
January 12th.
Yeah, the first plot over there, January 12th, and then February 4th, and then March 19th for these three, and then April 28th for these ones.
Okay, so just to clarify slightly, am I not enough of a loudmouth?
Let's get you a mic. All the old guys are in the back.
My kid thinks I'm a loudmouth. You guys were not, and I'm not criticizing. You guys were monitoring in the top inch, right?
Yeah.
So we go top 2 inches, and for that reason, we hit 0 in what was your target? Was it 0?
Yeah, it was 0.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're using a soil probe sensor machine,
Right.
so I never had to actually come out here to
Of
test
course
it.
not.
Oh yeah.
Craig.
It's on the cloud.
So we go the top 2 inches, so we're down a little bit deeper. So ours had to warm up a little bit more. So we didn't go until the 25th. So we'll compare numbers, I guess, at the end of the year and see. Because yeah, we were treading new territory ourselves because the earliest, like I said before, this year was February 9th. February 9th was just fine though.
Kendra, do you know how deep the probe actually is? Is it actually closer to 2 inches? Oh, maybe Kendra's not over here. We'll ask her when we're down to where the probe is.
It would make sense that it was a little shallower if you guys went that earlier, but maybe not.
We were right on the edge. I mean, typically Lethbridge is a little warmer than us. Every coulee you cross seems to change the weather a little bit. Yeah. So you guys are typically a little warmer than us. Any questions on here before we move down in front of maybe the January plots? Take a look there.
So what was the seed treatment?
Like Pro Stress Shield, a fungicide insecticide.
Very good. What stubble are you on here?
It's pea stubble, but we had to do some tillage because it was very hard and lumpy, and we had some weeds actually that impacted the plots. So if you see a few dandelions and thistles, it's hard. You know, the crew was seeding like almost 2,000 acres of fall crops across 13 varieties, and this was kind of a pain in the butt for them. So it's very nice that we did get it done, but it's challenging to do in the right time. So it was tilled and then double disc drill, but it was pea stubble. So. Any other questions before we walk over to the January plot?
Do you see more tillage on this than the earlier?
Oh, it was all the same tillage.
No, I'm.
Oh, tillers.
Tillers.
Tillers. Rand, did we do a tiller count when we were
By
doing that?
visual, it looks like this is not.
Okay.
No, we didn't do a tiller count when I was out here.
Okay. Yeah. To me, I think I think just visually it may look like it, but I'm betting that it might actually surprise you over there on how many heads per square foot we end up with. We should do a head count actually once everything's headed out, maybe, 14 inches a row or whatever space you did. Yeah. Maybe we should do a head count and weigh them or something. I don't know. Honestly, in the end, all that really matters is, did it yield more? Was quality different? Could you move your combines through earlier? Did it have less disease risk? So that to me is a lot of what matters. And when did you plant your last field on your farm? Because the first field doesn't matter as much. It's when was the last one planted? Could you have moved that up 5 days? Does that gain you something? Or do you do half canola and it doesn't matter because you don't plant canola till a certain date anyways? So maybe for some farms it really doesn't matter. It won't change what you do. But maybe for others it'll allow you to rent more land and not change your drill. So that's one thought. I mean, that's what winter we did for us. If you can plant a fall crop, now all of a sudden you've got 20% of your acres knocked off. Now you can rent more land.
And you had plenty of snow on here, right, after the fact.
Oh, there was snow that it came and went. The snow came and went through, and on the back of that handout Rand gave you, it's got the air temp and soil temp throughout the winter. It was a pretty variable and warm winter, so it was maybe not your typical winter, but we get stuff like that all the time, every year. Just not this much, I don't think.
Because that was a big concern with a lot of those early adopters, right?
Yeah.
And it can prove to be a nothing burger.
This stuff, the soil probe showed that the January had germinated and went through minus 13 while it was germinated. It went through minus 13 soil temperature, and it was like minus 20 air temperature. So it's amazing I never would have thought spring cereals could go through that kind of abuse. So, and still look like this, right? I mean, it doesn't look bad. Now, in a perfect situation, would a spring crop maybe yield it? Maybe, but on a fusarium year or on a early rains in the fall year. So it's just about maybe spreading risk on some of your acres. Not all of them, maybe it's just some. That's my thought. Maybe we can sell seed twice. I always get that question, you just want to sell more seed. I'm like, well, I'm happy to sell seed, but I do want to make you successful.
How about Amanda?